In this video, we'll build the core idea behind PyTorch: tensors, parameters, modules, and devices. A tensor is the basic object in PyTorch, a container that holds numbers. A single number is a tensor with 0 dimensions. A list of numbers is a one-dimensional tensor. A grid of numbers is a two-dimensional tensor, and a stack of grids is three-dimensional. Every tensor also has a shape, which tells you exactly how many numbers sit along each dimension. In code, you can always check a tensor's shape with one short call, .shape. This one habit catches more bugs than almost anything else in PyTorch. The shape of a tensor is a contract. Every layer expects tensors of a specific shape, and it produces tensors of another specific shape. Say layer A produces a shape ending in 128 numbers, but layer B expects a shape ending in 64. Those two numbers don't match, so the model simply cannot run. Learning to read and predict shapes is one of the most useful PyTorch skills you can build. In practice, a shape mismatch shows up as an error message when you run your code. PyTorch will tell you the two shapes it tried to combine, and that they don't line up. Reading that error is usually just a matter of comparing the two shapes it prints. You fix it by reshaping the tensor, or by changing the layer to expect the shape you actually have. PyTorch code is built from a small number of distinct kinds of objects. Knowing which kind an object is tells you what it's for, and what you're allowed to do with it. Let's meet all 8, then look at each one closely. Ordinary tensors hold data. Trainable parameters are learned during training. Model modules package computation together with its parameters. Datasets fetch one example at a time. DataLoaders group examples into shuffled batches. Losses measure how wrong a prediction was. Optimizers use that error to update the parameters, and checkpoints save a model's progress so you can pause and resume. Not every tensor plays the same role. An ordinary tensor just holds data, an image, a label, or an intermediate result. A trainable parameter is a special tensor that a model learns and updates during training, such as a weight or a bias. Inside a single layer, the weight matrix and the bias vector are both parameters. The data flowing through that layer is just a tensor. PyTorch tracks parameters separately so it knows exactly which numbers to adjust when learning happens. Module is how PyTorch packages a piece of computation together with its own parameters. A single layer is a module, and a full model built from many layers is also a module. Modules can contain other modules, which is how complex networks are built from simple, reusable pieces. A single linear layer is a small module. Stack dozens of them together, and you get one large module, like a full image classifier. A dataset is an object that knows how to fetch one example at a time. For image classification, that usually means one image and its label. A folder of labeled photos on disk is a classic example of a dataset. A DataLoader wraps a dataset and handles the busy work of feeding it to training. It groups examples into batches, shuffles their order, and hands them to the training loop batch by batch. You choose how big each batch is, which trades off speed against how much memory you use. A loss function compares the model's prediction to the true answer. It produces a single number describing how wrong the model was. For classifying images into categories, a common choice is cross-entropy loss. An optimizer looks at the loss and updates the model's parameters to make future predictions a little better. A looping arrow leads from the optimizer back to the model's parameters, nudging each one slightly. Common optimizers you'll meet are called SGD and Atom. Together, the loss and the optimizer are what make learning happen. A checkpoint is a saved snapshot of a model's parameters at some point in training. Checkpoints let you pause training and resume later. They also let you reload a trained model for later use, or roll back to an earlier, better-performing version. A common habit is saving a checkpoint once after every full pass through the training data. Let's ground all of this in a real example: classifying images. A single color image is usually stored as a three-dimensional tensor, with the shape channels by height by width. The three channels are usually red, green, and blue, and height and width are just the image's pixel dimensions. For a small color photo, that might be 3 by 224 by 224. Models are almost never shown one image at a time. Instead, many images are grouped into a batch and processed together, which is much faster. A batch of images adds one more dimension at the front, batch by channels by height by width. So a batch of 32 of those photos has the shape 32 by 3 by 224 by 224. In code, that whole batch is just one tensor with that exact shape. You don't loop over each image by hand. PyTorch treats the whole batch as a single object. We'll give this batch tensor a short name in just a moment. Every tensor and every model live on a device, either the CPU or a GPU. A GPU can do the same math much faster, especially for large models, but it is not required for learning these ideas. the one rule that matters. A tensor and the model operating on it must be on the same device, or PyTorch will raise an error. If they end up on different devices, PyTorch simply refuses to run. In code, moving a tensor onto a device is one short call, dot to device. You do the same for the model, so both live in the same place. Moving computation to a GPU can turn an hour of training into a few minutes. One more habit ties all of this together: consistent naming. If every project uses the same short names for the same roles, you can read unfamiliar code almost instantly. Here are the names we'll use for the rest of this course. The input tensor is called X, the true labels are called Y, the model's raw output is called logits, and the model's cleaned up answer is called predictions. The single number measuring error is called loss. The model itself is simply called model. The object that updates its parameters is called optimizer. Two DataLoaders round out the naming list. The one that feeds training batches is called train loader, and the one that checks progress on unseen data is called validation loader. Why keep two separate data loaders? Train loader feeds the data the model actually learns from. Validation loader feeds data the model never trains on, so you can honestly check its progress. This is how you catch a model that's memorizing instead of truly learning. Let's watch all 8 kinds of objects work together in one pass through training. Train loader hands the loop a batch, which unpacks into X and Y. Model turns X into logits. Loss compares logits to Y and produces one number. Optimizer uses that number to nudge every parameter, and the whole loop repeats for the next batch. Now it's your turn. Here is a short training loop written in pseudocode. Pause the video and next to each line, write down what kind of object it is. Let's check your answers one line at a time. The first line loops over train loader, our data loader. The second line unpacks X and Y, 2 ordinary tensors, 1 batch of images and 1 batch of labels. The third line calls model, a module, and produces logits, another ordinary tensor. The fourth line calls loss function to compute loss, a single tensor holding 1 number. The fifth line, loss.backward, tells PyTorch how each parameter contributed to that error. And the sixth line, optimizer.step, updates every trainable parameter using that information. Every line in this loop is one of the objects we just named. 3 small mistakes cause most early PyTorch errors: a tensor and a model on different devices, 2 tensors whose shapes don't line up between layers, and forgetting to call optimizer.step so the parameters never actually update. Let's recap. Tensors hold numbers, and their shape is a contract every layer must honor. Parameters, modules, datasets, DataLoaders, losses, optimizers, and checkpoints each play one clear role. A batch of images has the shape batch by channels, by height, by width, and everything must share one device. Consistent names like X, Y, model, loss, and optimizer are what make every training loop readable. If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe.